All right, we are going to go over the 30-day content roadmap. What this is going to help you out with is getting some clarity and understanding of a system of how to post content weekly so that you are consistent and you are not going through the headache of trying to come up with what to post or you don't know how to get started. This is the same system that I have used to actually get me up to 60,000 followers, generate millions of views. Even on TikTok, almost hit 100K followers with millions of views as well. By the end of this video, you'll have a full understanding of how this process works. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First, if you haven't already, you need to pick a niche. If you're a business owner watching this, your niche is your business because you want the right clientele to be watching your content. You're going to be helping out your ideal customer by giving them value, insight, or knowledge about your industry or about how you can help them out. So picking a niche is crucial. Going with your target audience, you want to make sure that you have your ICP already in mind because you want to be speaking to the specific person that you need to help. And with that, if you need some help with creating your ideal client profile, you can use AI and research tools to gather up info so that you understand who this video content is going to be for. You are going to be looking for their age range. Well, around how old are these people? Are they Gen Z? Are they millennials? These are very important things to know because your content will be tailored specifically for this age range. If you are creating content for millennials, you're not going to be using a bunch of Gen Z memes and trends and music all the time in your videos because it doesn't connect with millennials. So that's why you have to keep in mind how old is the target audience that I want watching this content. You're going to think about what pain points do they have? What are their struggles? Where are they struggling with currently? If you're in fitness, maybe it is they don't have the time to be losing weight. Or if it's in real estate, maybe their biggest struggle is they're afraid that the market's going to crash. Maybe they are afraid that they don't have enough money to invest. You're going to also think about what keywords is your target audience using? What specific words do you hear a lot? Is it maybe time? They never have time. Is it fear? Fear of getting started? Fear that they might fail? Also, where are their goals? What kind of goals does your target audience have? What do they want to accomplish at the end of the day? If we go back to the fitness example, most of the time it could be that they just want to lose weight. They want to lose a certain amount of weight and look good for summer. Or maybe it goes a little deeper than that and they want confidence in themselves and they want to truly feel proud of themselves. So think about what kind of goals does your target audience have? And also don't just guess on what it is, actually do thorough research. That includes using Gemini or Perplexity, any type of AI where it can do research. And obviously ChatGPT can do research on the internet, but I've noticed that Gemini and Perplexity can give more accurate research on what your target audience's biggest pain points are. Now, you're not just going to look at AI though. You're actually going to do research online too and use sites like Reddit or Quora to figure out what your target audience's biggest pain points are. You're going to go to the conversations that your target audience is having and you are going to be figuring out what is the biggest problem that they're facing. They're going to be talking all about it in these communities. I am telling you, this is a gold mine to find out all of the problems that people are having, what their goals are, what keywords they're using. You're going to look at what you hear the most, and that is what you're going to be listing out here in this list. You also want to make sure that if you have clients, analyze your past clients too. You're going to still do the same thing, list these out, but figure out what exactly it is that your clients are having problems with because they are the people that you're trying to attract. Now, if you're trying to attract a slightly different audience, then you'll stick more to doing this type of research. But if you like the clients you have so far and you want to continue getting clients just like the ones you have, then you are going to be making sure that you are doing this research as well. These clients are literally telling you what they want, what they're expecting, what their desires are. So make sure that you utilize that as much as you can. Once you have accomplished that, you are ready for the next step, which is research viral content ideas. The reason why we are researching content ideas and not just coming up with them on the spot, it is because this is evidence of what has already worked. Why are you not going to use evidence of what has already worked? This is going to be getting you to understand that this topic this hook is what people are interested in learning. So make content about that. You will type in your niche or type in keywords, type in questions, jump into your target audience's mind and think what kind of questions will they be asking in the Instagram search. And then you will look at what the options are there, what kind of videos you can make. You're going to create a saved collection and start saving all of the videos that have at least 100K views, if not more, because 100K is what we consider viral. So if it has 100K views, and it is a winning content idea, and that's what you want to use. Now, you're not done yet. Once you find that viral video, you're going to click on that creator's account and make sure that specific video is performing 2 to 3 times better than that creator's average views. If it isn't, and if they are getting millions of views in all of their videos, or maybe they're getting 100K views in all of their videos, and you found one that has 100K views, then it's not really an outlier. It's not really something special, because it just means that maybe they just have a big following and anything they post gets a ton of views. So you want to make sure that that specific video is performing 2 to 3 times better than the creator's average content. Very important to keep in mind. Once you do that, you want to add your own unique value and personality into it. You want to be thinking about, okay, I see this video here that this creator made. What can I do to improve it? Or how could I bring in my own personality to make it feel unique and special? The reason why we want to do this, if you just flat out copy the other creator, you are not doing anything special. You're not adding anything new or unique. Think about through your viewer's perspective. If they see that you did a carbon copy of another creator, they will think to themselves, why don't I just watch that creator's video instead? Why do I want to trust this person and not just watch the other creator, not just buy the other creator's program? You know? Think about it like that. You don't want to just copy and paste every single video that you find. You want to think about how you can add in your own unique flavor to it, how you can add in your own unique perspective on it. Going with that, you want to make sure that you are actually understanding why the video went viral in the first place. This is where analyzing content formats comes into play. You may not fully understand what a content format is, so that is why in the description of this video, you will find a link to my viral video formats list. It has 20 different viral formats that you can use for your content, and this is going to give you some understanding of the different formats that are out there. There's talking head, voiceover, much more than just this here. So I suggest taking a look at that and looking at the original creator's video and seeing what did they do? Did they do something similar? Once you have the understanding of the video format that they used, you can either use the same video format, but add in your own personality, your own value to it, or you can take their video, but add in a different format to it. Let's say they did a talking head video. They just looked at the camera and talked. Well, maybe instead what you can do is a voiceover. You want to think about what do they use. You want to take the same hook, which is just going to be the first 1 to 3 seconds of that creator's video, because that is how they got attention in the first place. Use the same hook and the same format, or with a different format, so it feels like a new, fresh perspective. Now, once you have found 10 content ideas, it is time to list those 10 content ideas out into 10 scripts. This is going to be your homework assignment for the next day. I don't want you doing this all in one day. You probably get very overwhelmed. You want to portion this off. So content research is going to be on one day, then the next day is going to be content scripts. You'll write out your content scripts and you will make sure not do a carbon copy of the original creator, but you are allowed to use the first 1 to 3 seconds that they used. I want you to understand that there's 3 different types of hooks you can use. The sound hook, so whatever it is that you hear, whatever they say. You use the text hook, so it's what is in the caption in the very beginning, or the visual hook, which is what did you see visually in the video that is making you understand what the video is about. It gives context, or that gives you intrigue. You want to understand how they went viral because of their hook, because the hook is the most crucial part to actually keeping that retention and keeping people watching. So make sure that you have that hook dialed in. You know exactly what it is that they did to make their content perform well, and you want to use the same hook that they did, but add in your own value, your own personality, or change the format entirely. After that, I want to say I wish that the hook was enough to keep people engaged, but unfortunately it is not. These days, people have the attention span of a goldfish, so you want to make sure that you keep that in mind when you are creating your content. The best way to do that is by adding pattern interrupts. This is so important to make sure that people aren't just skipping your video after the hook is over. What a pattern interrupt is just a way to re-engage the audience. You can do this in many different ways, by either teasing something that's going to happen later on in the video, or by saying something controversial that wakes them up again. It could be changing your tone, changing the pace that you're talking in, building anticipation for something, adding intention. There's so many different ways that you can add pattern interrupts. I recommend that you look over other content to see how they have done it in the past, and you can really start to learn how to apply it for yourself. For example, here, different pattern interrupts could be doing something completely different by holding out different objects visually to get people to understand something or get them interested in how you're going to react. Wearing some fun looking glasses while going over the differences between Monster and the Starbucks drink. Or this creator here that's very famous and he always doesn't have a shirt on whenever he is talking on camera. That itself is also a pattern interrupt. But don't worry, you don't have to take off your shirt in order to get a pattern interrupt, because there's so many different ways to do it. The best suggestion I have for you is by looking at how other creators do their pattern interrupts and doing the same exact thing by creating a separate collection specifically for pattern interrupts that you'll start saving content in, so you can reference that and know what pattern interrupts you can use for your content. So that covers pattern interrupts. Then once you're writing your scripts, make sure that you add those comments in so that you understand how you're gonna go about filming. Also, it's gonna help give some clarity to your editor. If you have an editor that you hire, they're gonna understand where things should go, what text should be where, and they'll just get a better understanding of how to edit your video. After that is filming. When you film, you want to keep two things in mind: the quality of your video and the sound. But honestly, I would say the sound is more important than the quality of video. There is a reason why when you're watching Netflix, if the connection is bad, the video quality is the first thing to go instead of the audio. Us as people can handle bad quality video, but the thing we hate the most is bad sound. If the sound sounds muffly or just doesn't sound right, or we can barely understand, it's gonna immediately make us want to just skip past that video. So make sure that you have your sound on point. These days, it's very simple. You don't have to know that much about sound and audio recording. Just invest in a Hollyland mic. That's what I use. Or you can use a DJI mic, any type of microphone that you can just attach to your shirt or attach to an object while you talk, and then have a recording device that you can attach to your camera or to your phone so that then it's able to sync that audio together. Now, once we have audio checked, you want to make sure your lighting is good. So in order to make sure your lighting is on point, you have two options. You can either, one, invest in some lighting, some professional lighting for your house, for your scenery, or you can just film outside. Now, if you're filming inside and you want to invest in lights, the most simplest way to go about it is just have one simple key light. What a key light is just a light that is pointing 45 degrees from your face, so you get some nice shadow on the other side and you have some proper exposure on your face, on your skin. You don't want to use any colored lights on your skin. It will look ugly, trust me. If you are going to use colored lights though, use them for the back. You can have LED lights, or you can have just anything in the background to just add a little more dimension, some depth, to make that shot really a lot more engaging. If you are going to film outside, then it's very simple. In order to get the best type of quality outside, film during the morning, so when sun is rising, or in the afternoon when the sun is coming down, because that is when you're going to get the golden hour look, and it is when you're going to get the least amount of crazy exposure on your face or on the background, and everything is going to look properly exposed. If you film during the midday, that when the sun is highest in the sky, and if it isn't cloudy. You're going to be getting a lot of overexposure on the ground, on the, maybe even on your face too. It kind of just depends on your camera settings, but it becomes a little more difficult to get that nice, perfect look. It isn't impossible, but if you really want to nail in your quality, then you're going to have to be thinking about that. Now, once we have filming taken care of, next is editing. You got to think about, how am I going to edit this video? Two options. Once again, you can either edit the video yourself, but what I strongly suggest is hiring an editor. If you have the investment to hire an editor, I say immediately jump on that, because editing takes time, especially if you're new to editing and you're trying to learn how to even do it. It's going to take you some time. You're going to have to figure it out, and not something that you really want to mess around with too long. Best to just hire an editor. But if you are going to edit your own videos, then I suggest CapCut all the way. The reason why I suggest CapCut is because it's a very simple editing software. It's very user-friendly for newcomers to editing. It's very self-explanatory. There's tons of YouTube videos that show you exactly how to use it. And you have two options. You can either edit on your phone, and that will make it easier so that you don't have to send footage over to a computer. But I honestly suggest using a computer because it just makes editing a lot faster. You're able to navigate the buttons and add in small little corrections a lot easier than just having to type everything on your little phone. So if you're going to edit out yourself and you're new to editing, CapCut is the best option. DaVinci Resolve is the second best because it is free and also has a lot of capabilities still. You have a lot of control on what you can do. However, there's a learning curve to it. So that goes again, if you are new to editing, I still suggest CapCut. But if you have a little bit of experience, it's taking some time to edit, then DaVinci. If you have money to invest, then I suggest doing the Adobe Creative Cloud or just getting Adobe Premiere Pro. The reason why is because it's going to give you the best control. However, it has the biggest learning curve. So because of that, I strongly suggest that if you are going to use Adobe Premiere Pro, you should probably hire an editor to be the one to actually do it for you. Gives you a lot more control and you have a lot more advanced editing that you can use, but there's a big learning curve. So it's usually just best if you have an editor. Now, when you are editing, you want to keep in mind some very simple things. The captions. Captions are crucial. Look at how these videos look. If you notice, these videos don't have crazy effects on them. They keep it very simple and they could have just been edited on CapCut. And the reason why is because the caption is just giving context to what the video is about. For example, this video right here is saying dark chocolate and my blood sugar. You can see the man is comparing chocolate with some other chocolate, and you already have context and understanding of what the video is going to be about. Same thing with this guy here, best foods to get jacked. You see a visual of this jacked man right here on camera, and it says best foods to get jacked. You immediately know what the video is going to be about. And same once again with I make $50K in an hour. Can I buy a $500,000 home? You immediately know what it's going to be about. You visually see the text. Remember, the caption is meant to add context. Add context to what people are in for the video. Another editing tip is to include relevant visuals. All right. You want to make sure that your caption is solid and your visuals are solid as well. If we look at the visuals here, we see that this guy is doing a comparison of unhealthy food versus healthy food. We immediately just see it through the visuals. We know what the video is going to be about. Same thing with this guy here. Shows he's talking about CapCut. You see CapCut there. You see him working in a pretty simple environment, and the background is clear. It gives room to include this caption. When you film with the caption in mind, you are able to know where exactly you're going to place it. It makes the video feel intentional, like you actually planned what you were going to do, and you did plan what you were going to do. And you can see for this video here, all you see is it says 5 things I mainly do after posting my reels. It shows me with the camera right there, and then I'm fixing the plant. It makes you start thinking, okay, what exactly is it that I do after posting a reel? Brings in some curiosity. So that's the other thing to think about. When you're creating these visuals and the captions, you want to think not only about bringing context, but thinking, how can I make this something that people are actually going to be curious about? Now, once you have your editing dialed in, it is time for posting. You want to post and you want to monitor your performance. Go onto your insights and look at your retention graph. What does it look like for you? If you are having a retention like this, above 50%, where it is going there, you see how it just barely dips just a little bit at the very end right there. That means that your video was highly engaging. People are watching it all the way through. You also want to take a look at your real skip rate. You want to see what is your typical skip rate, so you have something to base it off of, and what was this video skip rate. So now you know, okay, I usually get 52% of a skip rate, but this one actually has even smaller skip rate. So that means that your video was doing good. If this number is higher than this one, then that means you're gonna need to improve on that type of content. This is a clear indicator to know that it was the hook that didn't perform well. And most of the time, what I see from my clients, what they usually struggle with in the beginning is actually getting an engaging hook. That is why we say that having an engaging hook that catches people's attention right off the bat is the most crucial. But if you don't have those pattern interrupts, then you might start dropping down a bit. So you might need to re-engage your audience again. You need to think of different ways. Make sure that you take a look again at your folder, your collection of pattern interrupts, and see what other pattern interrupt can you apply for your content. If you get low retention on your graphs, then all it comes down to is just making more adjustments to the scripts. You want to think about, okay, when are people dropping off? That is what I have to think about and keep in mind when I'm writing these scripts and filming and editing. Now, if you are not getting low retention, and if you're getting a lot of videos that are going like this, then that's amazing. That's perfect. And you need to start doubling down those types of content. You want to repeat that same system all over again when you are looking at content ideas, and depending on how well your video is performing, if you start noticing that there's a few videos that have performed 2 to 3 times better than your average, then those are the types of videos you want to double down on, including the viral videos too that you're researching. Now you have an understanding of how to repeat this system weekly, and now it's all just about applying this for yourself. But you may have some questions. You may still feel unsure about how to script your videos, or maybe you need some better insight on finding the right content ideas, or how you can analyze these viral videos and understand what it is that performs so well for it so you can apply it for yourself. Well, if that's the case, then I am here to help, because I have been able to help my clients go from very little views, not really understanding how content actually works, how filming goes, not having a clear system in mind of how to make content easy and just repeatable every week, to being able to accomplish this weekly and get millions of views along the way. So that way they increase their chances of generating more leads and more clients from their social media. So if that sounds interesting to you, then I suggest clicking the link below so that you can book a one-on-one call with me, and we can go over how we can strategize your content for your business so that you can generate more leads and get more clients in return. So if you want consistency and a clear path to generating more leads, then click the link below and I'll see you there.